Yeah.
Clerk, ready?
Ready.
Call to order.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Greg is running late, so you'll just have to add him in when you get to.
Steve Carter,
Present.
Greg Gordon,
Absent.
Michael George,
Present.
Susan Schneider,
Present.
Steve Martin.
Here.
And we can do
Like to
the,
make a motion to approve the agenda.
I second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number
Aye.
4,
Make a motion for the approval of minutes from April 9th meeting.
I second it.
all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Number 5,
Make a motion, we accept and approve the minutes from April 22nd, special meeting.
I second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
And we are here for a public hearing, and the public hearing is to hear comments and petitions on voluntary annexation and proposed rezoning of property generally located at State Route TT, west of Shawnee View Road. Do we have anybody here that wants to make any comment? You all have looked over the property that we're talking about?
Yes.
I did have one question today on the phone, asking me what the C3 was for, and when I explained about the possible conference center and the pool area, they were good with it, so. Okay. So do we need any more discussion on it? There's no public.
I just think that anything the Tuckers do has been pretty straight up and good.
Do we need to have a certain amount of time or anything if there's no
I
one
don't
here?
think so, and the city attorney, I think.
Nope, nope.
Conduct a public hearing
Okay,
and
all
comments made and we move on.
right. Well, let's move on to number 7, Chairman of the Board report. Greetings, citizens of Sunrise Beach, staff, and the Board of Trustees. We have again many great things on the agenda for this evening. We will welcome both Frankie and Louise and Paradise as voluntary annexations into our city, expanding the city's footprint. Our most important focus is providing clean water and safe wastewater treatment for our city. Phase 3 is wrapping up, and we still have several months before Phase 4 financing is set. This will include dismantling the South Sewer Plant. Our water and wastewater system ordinances have been updated to reflect the current pricing, regulations, and penalties. One section notes that landlords will be notified as well as the renter for any delinquent accounts. This is a Missouri statute we are following. Our water billing system will be improved with a new billing system and a payment access for customer use. Other priorities are the aesthetics of the city. We are revamping the nuisance ordinance as well as establishing enforcement and penalties. Also, an additional ordinance regulating junk vehicles and/or the storage of within the city, along with penalties to enforce. We have applied for a grant from the state to add one of the first sidewalks for the pedestrians in the city, and that, of course, we're waiting to hear whether we'll get the grant. The first street project will be out for bid offering next week, and also we will discuss working towards a plan analyzing our spacing needs for future municipal building. We're doing the best we can with this very old and small city hall, but we must look into the future growth we anticipate. All these activities take time. We appreciate your understanding and patience. And as always, call if you have any questions on city business. Do we have any visitor comment? Okay. Going into ordinances and resolutions, Dahlia, if you would mind reading. This is the first reading on bill number 2024-14.
Bill number 20, excuse me, my allergies. Bill number 2024-14, whereas an ordinance approving a petition for voluntary annexation filed by Tucker Capital LLC, Tucker Investments LLC, and Drake Marine Incorporated regarding certain properties contiguous and compact to the village of Sunrise Beach, Missouri, annexing said property into the village, adopting zoning district classifications for the property, and authorizing other actions in connection with such annexation.
A motion for the first reading.
Make a motion to accept the first reading for bill number 2024-14.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, on number B, bill number 2024-15. Dahlia?
Bill number 2024-15, an ordinance of the Village of Sunrise Beach prohibiting nuisances, requiring the abatement of nuisances, and setting the penalties for violation.
Make a motion to accept first reading of bill number 2024-15.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I just make a quick comment?
You bet.
So we put the agenda out on Thursday afternoon, and then very soon after, the city attorney has sent us some very minor revisions to both this bill and the next one. And so those have been copied and set up on guides. And so procedurally, I defer to the city attorney as to.
So it'll be a motion to amend by introducing a substitute.
I make a motion to introduce the substitute motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make sure you mark the ones that he handed out as the newest so that the one in your package doesn't end up in your.
Is it,
And that was on the nuisance. The other one is the, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
very minor changes. Maybe if you would summarize those.
I don't even remember what they were this wording.
Just, okay.
I would not call them, it's not substantive in any way, completely just minor stuff.
Okay. I'm just happy we're revising that. That was a very needed ordinance. Dahlia numbers, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna recap again, there'll be three ways that we can address problem properties. The first is that the chief can go out, or his people can go out and just issue a ticket. Okay, so that's provided now in there. The second is we can go through an administrative process, which doesn't go through the court system, but it allows us to get out there and mow the grass. It's good for simple things like that. And then the more complex, for really some of the hardcore properties, we have the ability to take them to court and get a judge to order them to clean up. So that's probably, the most effective, also the most expensive. So we don't want to use that for everything.
So we've got a property right down the street by the church where Kent Memorial, and it's laden with junk.
Okay.
And so what is it going to be? 3-tier where you issue the ticket first?
No, I think we need to, and this is where Steve and the chief and I all need to coordinate. But you choose which path you were going to go.
Okay.
On something like that, my recommendation would be to go with the third one. The reason is people have big piles of junk. They're not going to respond to a ticket. It's cheaper.
Or a letter.
Or a letter. I mean, I always send out a letter anyway.
Okay.
I think to give people fair warning. And the administrative process, could work for that. What you get from the administrative process, though, is a lien, and the difficulty with that on those really hardcore places that get a lot of junk is our city crews or somebody we hire will have to go in on that property and clean it up. And
At our expense.
at our expense. Now, we can put a lien on the property.
Yeah.
For that, but that's, 50/50, whether you're getting money out of that. But my main concern is if our people go out on the property, some guy with a gun is gonna say, get the hell off my property.
Mhm.
So I want is a court order saying we have the right to do that.
Well, and the major problem around here, like old mobile homes sitting on properties forever. And all the area around it is building up and this property sitting there. That would be the one I think we would have to go that route on. Somebody that just doesn't cut their grass.
That's an administrative thing. That's very easily taken care of. You post the property, you have a hearing, they won't show up at the hearing, give you the model script for the hearing. Steve can be the hearing officer and you just order, the city attorney, and then you put a lien on the property and those are the ones you're gonna get. You're not putting a lot of money out, and you're likely to get that through the tax, lien process. But some of that cleaning up junk, you're talking about,
Expensive.
well, several $1,000s, and less likely to get it back, but also it's just more dangerous. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I won't see us going out there to pull any mobile homes out.
Yeah, Chief and I discussed this, city attorney, abating nuisances using either city crews or contracted crews is an absolute last resort. I've been in city management for almost 20 years, I've been a long time. And it would be very rare, I think, that we want to go down that path. It's also really, frankly, pretty difficult. You have to do multiple notices. And so I certainly hope we don't go down that path. That's not the intent, I should say. The intent is to set a standard and say, look, the citizens, the community wants our properties kept in reasonable repair. And if not, then, you may need to go to court and so forth. But yeah, as far as the city taking action, very kind of a rare situation.
yeah, and so we'd probably be like maybe on the first one. Sometimes you're gonna have to set an example, set that tone. But whatever we do, we need to pick out who our first target is. And then, be prepared to go all the way with that one. The one thing you can't do is quit halfway through the process. But once they know that they can outlast you, they'll do that.
Yeah.
One other comment I'd like to make is that Chief mentioned, I think, that we would intend to enforce on a complaint basis. And I think it's important because, it's certainly not my intent to, direct Chief and his officers to go out looking for violations. No, I think typically we would respond on a complaint basis. I haven't said that there may be some violations that are just in plain sight that you can't ignore. But generally speaking, I don't want to have going out. I don't think it's not how, it certainly would be my intent.
No, I agree. The only complaint that would come out of be generated by my office is if I'm patrolling, see an old mobile home or something that we're having problems running kids or homeless people out of where it's a genuine public safety risk. That's the only complaint that would be generated on that there's a genuine public safety.
I agree.
Or a lot of times you'll have somebody dealing drugs. Believe it or not, the best way to deal with a drug dealer is to make him mow his lawn. And they'll move along to some place where they don't have to.
We'll see about that over at the
Work.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so we're on 2024-16, first reading.
Bill number 2024-16, an ordinance regulating junk vehicles and storage of junk vehicles in the village of Sunrise Beach.
And if we make a motion, we should make a motion to accept revised.
Make a motion that we accept the revised ordinance,
First reading.
first reading, 2024-16.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, this one, the big issue was splitting out what we do with people selling cars, selling junk cars. So it's okay if you have a good car, a work car that has plates on it, you can display that as long as you want. But we wanted to make it so that junk cars, and really the most common problem is you have a mechanic, well, my mechanic is this way, Steve, my mechanic's this way, you know, people drop off their car and it's not fixable, and it just stays there. And so really, we're kind of doing the mechanics a favor by forcing them to get rid of those things,
Is it a time frame? How long it sits?
180 days.
That's what I read. Okay,
which is a long time.
that's too long. I mean,
That's 6 months.
whatever you think. It's okay.
Yeah.
We can shorten it later and see how we do it.
Again, we don't have a lot of that. That's up there.
Now, mostly what you'll have is, and this was already covered in the first draft, is people have a abandoned vehicle in their yard. Frankly, it's mostly guys, you know, I'm gonna fix that up. But they never quite get to it. So in that case, really, we're helping out the wives. I mean, they're glad to see that old hunk go, you know.
Talk to my neighbors complaining about mine. Oh. Okay. Resolution 2024-08.
Resolution 2024-08, a resolution approving and authorizing a subscription to the small utility billing service, SUBS, utility billing program owned and serviced by the Missouri Rural Water Distribution and authorizing certain other actions thereto.
Now, this is a resolution. We are voting to accept the resolution.
I make a motion that we accept the resolution. And that's number F or D and E. You gotta read it first, though.
Well, let's do D.
D.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
2024-09.
Resolution 2024-09, a resolution authorizing and accepting a revised fee agreement with Cochran Engineering for professional services relating to the 2024 program.
And this is in regards to the street plan.
Make a motion to accept the resolution 2024-09.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, resolution 2024-10.
Resolution 2024-10, a resolution authorizing and approving an agreement with Navigate Building Solutions for professional services relating to contemplated administrative building improvements.
Make a motion to accept resolution 2024-10.
I second
All in favor?
Aye.
it. Aye.
Okay, moving on to old business. The first is a second reading for 2024-10.
Bill number 2024-10, an ordinance amending ordinance 09-10, providing for amendments to the zoning code and land subdivision regulations of the village of Sunrise Beach, Missouri.
Make a motion, we accept bill number 2024-10.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Bill number 2024-11.
Bill number 2024-11, an ordinance establishing a user charge system for the village of Sunrise Beach to provide funds needed to pay for all expenses associated with the village water system.
I make a motion that we accept 2024-11.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Bill number 2024-12.
Bill number 2024-12, an ordinance establishing a user charge system for the village of Sunrise Beach to provide funds needed to pay for all expenses associated with the village wastewater system.
I make a motion that we accept bill number 2024-12.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are probably supposed to be doing roll call votes on these second readings.
No, oh, and ordinances, yes.
Do we need to go back or?
I'll go back. Bill number 2024-10. Mike George,
Yes.
Steve Carter,
Yes.
Greg Gordon, Steve Bartle,
Yes.
Susan Snyder.
Yes.
Bill number 2024-11. Greg Gordon,
Yes.
Steve Carter,
Yes.
Steve Bartle,
Yes.
Michael George,
Yes.
Susan Snyder.
Yes.
Bill number 2024-12. Susan Snyder,
Yes.
Steve Carter,
Yes.
Steve Bartle,
Yes.
Michael George,
Yes.
Greg Gordon.
Yes.
Sorry about that, Dahlia. Okay, bill number 2024-13.
Bill number 2024-13, an ordinance approving a petition for voluntary annexation bill filed by Prestige Lake White LLC regarding certain property contiguous income tax to the village of Sunrise Beach, Missouri, annexing said property to the village, adopting zoning district classifications for the property, and authorizing other actions in connection with such annexation. Roll call. Steve Carter.
We need a motion.
Make a motion to accept bill number 2024-13.
I second it.
Go ahead,
Diane. Roll call. Greg Gordon.
Yes.
Michael George.
Yes.
Steve Carter.
Yes.
Steve Bartle.
Yes.
Susan Snyder.
Yes. Very good. City administrator report, Steve.
Yeah, just a couple things. Thank you for, your support on some of these items. The road project, it's out for bid. We opened bids on May 23rd. It's Thursday. And I know it wasn't a specific agenda item. It's kind of up to you all. The next regularly scheduled meeting is until June 10th. If we want to try to award a contract before that time, it might help to have a special meeting. I talked to the engineer, they would be able to have a recommendation ready. They did it, obviously Memorial Day weekend can be a little busy and so forth, but by the following Wednesday, I think it's the 28th or the 29th, it's a Thursday. If you all wanted to meet, we could have a recommendation and I should have the contractor vetted by that time. So it's up to you.
So that would be a couple of weeks before the regular meeting.
It would probably give us a little bit of time, just get a little jump on it.
That's the $634,000 budget for this year for the roads.
Well, that's, yeah, and that would be the first road project,
Right.
which is Deer Valley, correct?
Yeah, I mean, Deer Valley, Spring Cove Road entrance, Road Drive.
Mhm.
There's another one,
Castle Grange.
Castle Garden.
Everybody up for a special meeting when that is ready to look at?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Me too.
I would probably suggest, the Wednesday would be fine. If you want to do that Wednesday after Memorial Day or Thursday, either, whichever.
Soon as you can be ready.
Should we set it or do you want to wait until you get that back?
Same story. It's really kind of up to you. I think maybe if you want to do it this way, we can just see what kind of bids we get. We're hoping we get, good competitive bids, and then maybe you could call the meeting afterward.
Okay, let's do that.
We do have 7 plan holders when I asked the engineer on Friday. And, sometimes, one of the plan holders is a planning room and so forth. It looked like there were 4 or 5 asphalt contractors that had plans, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised that you said that. And Magruder does have asphalt here. I didn't realize that.
So we really, you always, the more
They were
bids, the
just
better. It's my first experience
Mhm.
here, bidding a big project like this. I hope at least we have 3. I'd love to see 3 bids and then more. Better. It's obviously not the ideal time to bid it, but I don't think it's a terrible time. you know,
It
it's,
might not be too late. I mean, we have had a lot of rain, so that has held up but a lot of people try to get their stuff all lined up for the whole summer. It's in the paper already, right?
yeah, it was published a while ago.
Okay.
One other thing I'll say publicly, those businesses and that will be impacted by the project. Once we have a contract award, we would like to have a pre-construction meeting. We will have a pre-construction meeting. And I always like to invite some of those businesses. I know there's Frankie Louis folks here tonight, some others, the Board of Realtors in that location, just so that they have a chance to meet with the contractor and staff and we all get on the same page together. It always, I think it works well. So that will, you know, be coming, and it's, you don't have to send, but it is helpful sometimes if those businesses and locations are represented.
Okay.
And I think, oh yeah, just real quickly on the City Hall Police Department Public Works Plan, again, thank you for approving it. It's just a very preliminary step forward. We want to look at two sites. One would be where we're at here, and then the Oakside Bank. It's not in writing, but they let us know that they'd be willing to, you know, potentially sell the city some land there at a discounted price. So we want to evaluate that site. And I think the price here, and I've worked with the group in the past, I think it's be a very good way to get this project kind of off center. And the end result is, I think the board and the public will all understand the costs, and, you know, what our needs are too on a really limited basis. We're not doing floor plans or anything like that, but at least we're going to understand what we need in space and where it might best fit.
Right, and you're only looking at two properties to have this kind of laid out on, so. And I think Oakstar is just, they're wanting an answer from us. They've been talking to us for a couple of years, so. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, we'll get started on it right away. They're ready to go. I think
Okay.
in their scope, they said they're planning on getting on it by today. So
Very good.
that's all I got.
Anything else? Chief of Police.
Month of April, Sunrise Beach Police Department had 90 calls for service, 381 self-initiated activities, issued 35 citations and 39 warnings.
I'm sorry?
Everything okay?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were trying to like lean forward me.
No, Andy was,
Uh,
I think he's been out and about. He just asked if he was needed.
2014 Expedition sold on gut deal for $6,053.99. Has been picked up by its new owners. So with that, our current body armor that's issued to officers expires this year. So due to it expiring and it never having fit any of the officers well, I'm asking that we allocate $3,800 of that $6,000 towards purchasing new body armor and carriers. The new in-car cameras been installed, rifle locks have been installed. We did that while they were installing the cameras to save some money. New tasers, I put an expected date of mid-August, realistically mid-September. Into September, I see those being implemented if we're lucky. And then, so on top of the body armor ask, the only ask I have is I've been in discussion with Steve and Susan. Pretty great detail about, you know, we've got the 4th officer position open, going ahead and getting the 5th open. I'm definitely seeing the need for it. I know we're continuing to increase. We've seen a good increase of traffic on Highway 5. And I think it's really going to help me with recruiting. Instead of saying, you know, we've got one opening, everybody's asking who we got working. We do 2, maybe I can find a couple guys in the county that aren't happy at whatever county they're at, you know, so kind of come here and bring your buddy with you type deal.
So you have nothing in the works for any?
I've had a few applicants. I've not interviewed any of them. I've decided to not interview on them due to various reasons. I didn't feel like they would be a good fit for us. We do have one officer that used to be an officer here who was a sergeant here, Pete Fox. He has not applied. I'm kind of trying to help him get his post license up to date. And he's indicated that once he gets that up to date and he finds somewhere to live up here, that he would be interested in applying, but that's We don't
We don't
know
know.
if and or when that would be.
It, is my recollection wrong, or didn't we talk way back about having 5 officers total?
We approved it already.
I thought we did too.
Well, we'd approved the 4th, and Steve
Well,
was no more. We
Since
approved the
Steve was
4th,
here the 4th,
and we
but I,
had the part-time spot, and then whenever part of the Frank and Louis annexation and deal was, we were talking, hey, we probably really need to get a 5th. And you said, time to start looking for the 5th, but I don't think we've ever approved a 5th.
Yeah, it's not in the budget. So
yeah,
I agree, for so chief, we have a need, and when the budget was adopted, more recent annexations were, I don't think we even had that discussion yet. So, yeah, we have a need, and, the proper way to do it is to amend the budget. But I think, what I've told chief, I tell you all the same thing. If we have 2 good candidates, it would be nice to get them hired.
mhm.
You know why? First of all, we posted this opening when it was mid-March. Yeah, it's been posted at least for 2 months in that range. And again, not even one applicant that chief wants to. It's just different.
And it's really liability issues. I don't feel like they're, it's not because I don't like the way the hair looks or anything like that. So I do want you guys to know that the ones that have applied, I have done, talked to previous employers, and I don't think it would help us with the image that we're trying to get.
When you add another officer, do you have to add another car?
No, we're good on cars.
Okay.
As far as,
At the moment,
let me back up. We're good on the number of cars.
okay,
We have a car that's going to need replaced sooner than later.
okay.
But as far as the number of cars, I feel we are good.
You were hoping to get another car 2 years or something.
My plan and hope is to get rid of that 2011 private personal vehicle
Mhm.
type platform, and replace it with a police rated vehicle and something that's not, 2011 or the 15 years old.
Well, and we right now have it where you're looking for number 4, and if you are saying that if anybody applies and you end up with 2 applicants, yes, I say we go forward with it. We are changing the budget to January, correct? So we will be redoing the budget because we're gonna try to go to a fiscal year, January, February, January to December. So,
And we are sucking, and on the other side of it too, is we're sucking it in a little bit on the overtime stuff. I've told officers with the new pay scale, overtime's kind of like the negligent thing in the past. Last night I sent an officer home a few hours early to keep the overtime down. So we're gonna save a little bit on that side, so.
I'm on board with what we're doing. Okay, committee reports, finance, we do have a list of bills.
Make a
Everybody,
motion, we pay our bills. Accounts payable.
everybody have a chance to second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We did have another phase 3, change order. Or actually, this is not a change order. This is just his normal billing, 35,404. So,
Yeah, this is for relay and.
right.
Sure.
Make a motion, we pay number 2, sewer project pay application, relay and shoreline.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, then number 3 is a change order. And this one, 3 is for Summer Point or
No, it's a good portion of it is Como, and then there's
Como.
there's some other changes.
Oh, the second one
Further.
is Summer, I see.
Yeah, the change order 3 relates just to the sewer work.
Okay,
Make a motion that we pay number 3, the change for Brule, $240,000.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And number 4 is approved contract 1 Brule. This is Summer Point. Water.
This is the
extension.
water piece. And so it's a separate contract, if you will. It's kind of an addendum to the existing contract, but it's only the water. And so the water, we're paying 100%. You
Mhm.
know, it's not, funded through DNR.
And we're gonna have 10 new customers.
I think minimum 12,
12? Okay.
yes.
Make a motion, we pay number 4. There.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approve contract 2, Brule Como Connect Water Extension.
Make a motion that we approve number 5, Blue Lake trenching contract with Como.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I do have a couple comments on this. Maybe you can answer these questions. I'm sure everyone's aware of the fact that Como is dropping the television services. And so we're gonna be losing tax revenue that was charged on those services. Do we have any idea what kind of effect?
Are we getting taxes on
Internet.
the TV and the internet bundles? If they're not in this, or if they're in the city, do we get taxes from that?
Maybe a better question for city attorney.
I don't know that we do.
I don't think it's small.
I don't think we do, get taxes for that.
I think they're.
It's out of billing.
State law.
Oh, it's just, okay. I was gonna say because of where it's billed out of.
That's what I was told 2 years ago. It's out of the billing.
Yeah, if you got anything, you get the franchise fee.
Right, and I believe that we do collect some franchise fees on that.
And the franchise fees are for television broadcast side or for the internet side?
The franchise fees we get are from DirecTV and from,
Como Connect?
no, I don't think we get any from Como Connect unless you know something.
Yeah, I'd
I
have
don't-
to- we really have to research.
Yeah,
Franchise fees would be on the TV side.
Right, so we're losing those fees also.
What, they giving it up?
They're discontinuing the service.
Everybody's streaming.
Everybody.
They don't have any.
And they're
Como Connect's
actually-
dropping. They're only gonna provide internet, that's it.
then they're actually pushing people towards DirecTV, which we do get a franchise fee. So, guess it depends on what they sign up for.
Well, that was worth $50,000.
No,
Como Internet and TV together were $50,000 a year.
I don't think so. I think it's the
Yeah.
electric, it's the fiber service that we were looking at on the sales tax.
Yeah, I'd be happy to research it.
I just have curiosity, what effect that's gonna give us on our tax base.
No, that's, yeah. No, let me research it. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd remind you of on the agreement that we made with Como, they essentially gave us 4 free transformers in the sewer project. And that value is around $100 million. So, way it paid for the water change order that y'all just approved. So, anyways, but a good question, and I was.
Yeah, I was just curious if there was any type of an impact we're gonna experience, you know.
Well, we never got a good answer on what our taxes are gonna, what we're gonna collect when we annex them, and we're not annexing them until the water's in. So kind of we're not gonna know until probably next year sometime.
Yeah, I mean, we'll give you a good, it's best accounting we can come up with.
Okay.
Kind of a side note, the telecom battles with the Missouri legislature have been going on for years, and city attorney, of course, is well aware of that. The cities have won some. There have been settlements relating to charter and the good old fashioned phone. I mean, this literally been going on for years, but they keep trying to, the lobbyists are lobbying and having some success. And I was told last week at a conference I attended that the some of these bills may actually this year go through. So it would potentially have a detrimental impact to the cities, especially in how we regulate our right of ways, which, obviously on the city side, but it's only fair. Utilities company, fiber, telecom, electric, whatever, natural gas, they use our right of way, there needs to be a fee associated with that. So we continue to monitor it, and hopefully if there are changes that are not skewed too heavily against us. Sorry for my editorial comment. So, we do.
I would echo that. I've been fighting that for years, decades. The cities have been slowly losing ground, I think, over time. But yeah, there was a time when if you wanted to put your line in our right of way, you were gonna have to pay for that. Now the legislature gave away our right of way.
Motion we adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We adjourn.